What's up, dude? I don't have anything to preface this video with, so let's just jump right into it. Stone Justin Fultz was born November 21st, 2000 in Delaware, Ohio. He attended Buckeye Valley High School, and after graduation, he went to Bowling Green State University, also in Ohio, where he was involved in intramural football and basketball. While in college, Stone rushed for Pi Kappa Alpha. The chapter at Bowling Green State started in 1927. Now the frat had been reported for hazing before the spring 2021 semester. In December of 2018, an anonymous tip was reported to the university by the roommate of a Pi Kappa Alpha pledge who claimed that members were suffering from sleep deprivation and being made to fight each other in their underwear while in a deeply dug hole. It's so weird. The chapter had enough reports done about them that they were put on probation from December 9th of 2019 to May 8th of 2020. Honestly, that really doesn't seem like that long, but oh well. On February 7th, 2021, Stone and 8 other boys pledged to join the fraternity. They were given a new member handbook, which I think in a lot of frats, a handbook is pretty standard. I think you get something like that, or at least a pamphlet, I guess, that states kind of the rules, what the frat stands for, that kind of thing. They also had to attend all ritual events in order to become members. There was a hazing event on March 4th, and before the event happened, the pledges were told to inform their professors that they would be possibly absent from class the next day. So at 8 p.m., the future members arrived to an off-campus house that was the Bando house. Like, that's what they called it. The members all called it the Bando house. I don't really get that, but the boys were dressed in formal attire, so like slacks, button-up shirts, coats and ties, that sort of thing. And they were told to take off their ties and use them as blindfolds. So, the boys tied their own ties around their eyes before they were led in a single-file line to the basement of the house. They were pushed and yelled at while loud music was playing. This was an attempt to disorient them. After a while, the blindfolds were removed and the pledges were introduced to their respective big. Like a mentor type person. I'm sure we all know what bigs and littles are, but your big just is like your big brother in the frat and is supposed to help you and look out for you and be a mentor. The final event for the pledges was for them to drink a fifth of high alcohol liquor. However, they were not told that finishing the bottle was required to continue on in the pledge process. They were just heavily pressured to do it, but they didn't tell them, if you don't finish this, you're not going to join the frat. So it's so dumb. I don't really get it, but I have thoughts about it. So we'll talk about that after. I'm getting ahead of myself. The boys got a bottle of the family drink, which in Stone's case was Evan Williams whiskey, which I have never heard of, and comment down below if it's actually good. I'm not really a whiskey person, though. According to an eyewitness, he finished his bottle in only 18 minutes. I cannot imagine doing that, but it kind of seems like maybe he just wanted to get it over with, and I guess that he had even Googled, the quickest way to drink alcohol, to drink liquor. So it's very obvious he was committed, but he also wanted to get it done as soon as possible. Trash cans were placed next to the boys in anticipation for them to begin throwing out. The bigs were claiming that they were brothers and that they would make sure to look out for their littles. Witnesses said that Stone did begin throwing up and had problems walking. It's good it was leaving his system, but that much alcohol, dude. Oof. His big and 2 other members took him to his car, drove him home, and sat with him for a little bit before leaving him alone on his apartment, on his couch in his apartment. Half an hour later, around 10:30, one of his roommates arrived home, saw Stone, and called Stone's girlfriend to help him look after Stone. I feel so bad for him. After a while, Stone quit breathing and his face began to turn blue. Stone's girlfriend called 911 at 11:23 p.m. as the roommate began CPR. Paramedics were on the scene 2 minutes later and took him to Wood County Hospital. He was then airlifted to ProMedica Hospital in Toledo. His blood alcohol content was 0.394. The legal limit is 0.08 in Ohio, and once you hit 0.40, that's when the blood alcohol content starts to get potentially lethal. So he was right there. Despite trying, doctors were not able to save him. After realizing that there was no more hope for him, they began to try to keep his organs healthy enough to be able to be donated. So I think they had to wait for the alcohol to work its way out of his system a little bit before they could get his organs to have them donated and actually be able to use them, like have a donor be able to actually use them. Stone's heart, liver, kidneys, and other organs were able to be donated. Now, I guess that Stone wanted to get his license really bad when he was younger, not because he wanted to drive necessarily, but more because he wanted to be an organ donor. Like, he was just a good kid in that way, you know. So, the university placed the chapter on interim suspension, meaning that the chapter was immediately removed from the university on March 5th of 2021. All Greek life was suspended for the semester at the college. The students organized a protest outside the Frat's former on-campus housing. A memorial for Stone was crafted for the protest. Pi Kappa Alpha stopped recruitment nationwide for the entire spring 2021 semester. In April of the same year, the chapter president was sent a letter from the dean of students explaining the charges of violating the student code of conduct. So these are the charges. Offenses against persons, harm to others, encouraging members to consume an entire bottle of alcohol. Offenses against persons, hazing, encouraging members to consume an entire bottle of alcohol. Offenses against persons, hazing, making members wear blindfolds while being pushed and yelled at. Offenses against persons, hazing, members being told to inform their professors of their likely absence from classes the next day. Offenses against persons, hazing and underage alcohol possession are against the law and university policy. Offenses disrupting order or disregarding health and safety, organization, alcohol was given to new members despite only one of them being of the legal age to consume alcohol. The chapter was found to be guilty in all conduct charges and permanently removed from the campus. 3 students were expelled and 18 others were suspended for the hazing. Niles Sweeney reached a plea deal and had all of his charges dropped except for 1 count of felony tampering with evidence. He got a 2-week jail sentence, 28 days of house arrest, and 2 years probation. Dalen Duncan, the president of the chapter, pled guilty to reckless homicide, tampering with evidence, and obstructing justice. All are 3rd-degree felonies, and 8 counts of hazing, 7 counts of failure to comply with underage alcohol laws, and 1 count of obstructing official business, which are all misdemeanors. Aaron Lehane pled guilty to 11 of the 17 charges against him, including tampering with evidence and hazing. He also got 28 days of house arrest and 2 years probation. Jarrett Price pled guilty to 8 counts of hazing. Reckless homicide had been amended from his involuntary manslaughter felonies to the 3rd degree. He spent 28 days in jail and another 28 days on house arrest with 2 years probation. Ben Boyers pled guilty to 3rd-degree felony reckless homicide, 5th-degree felony obstructing justice, and 8 counts of misdemeanor hazing. He got 28 days on house arrest and 2 years probation. 2 other members, Jacob Crin and Troy Henriksen, were convicted by a jury, so obviously they tried to fight their charges. Jacob was found guilty of hazing, failure to comply with underage alcohol laws, and obstructing official business, all misdemeanors. Troy was found guilty of 8 counts of hazing and 7 counts of failure to comply with underage alcohol laws, all misdemeanors as well. Canyon Caldwell was convicted on 1 count of obstructing justice and 8 counts of misdemeanor hazing. Senate Bill 126, otherwise known as Collins Law, was passed due to many similar tragedies like Stone's. The law is named after Colin Wyant, an 18-year-old freshman from Ohio University who died in 2018 after a hazing ritual. The bill is an anti-hazing act. It creates harsher penalties for hazing, a statewide curriculum for college students about hazing, and more transparency at the university level, according to dispatch.com. I really feel like frats and sororities are like the Stanford project, or not Stanford. Maybe it is Stanford Project, but the Stanford experiment where they took regular everyday people, they made some cops and some inmates, and the cops got to make and enforce the rules, and the inmates just kind of like they were treated like inmates, but it was just an experiment to see how the power would go to a person's head and how far they would push the limits, and knowing that they had all this power. That is sometimes what I think frats are like, that you have these bigs that are like enforcing rules. They're making the pledges do whatever they want them to do simply because they can. And I think it is incredibly messed up, and I think that the Bill 126 was a very good one and needed to be done. I guess that actually a lot of other states are now enforcing anti-hazing laws, which is a good move on so many levels, I think. But that is just me. All this to say, I'm not against frats and sororities. I'm not a huge fan of them, but I mean, like, why not? It's something to do on campus. Like, it makes you social, I guess. You meet people. That's great. I just don't like all the rules and the fact that it's like peers governing younger peers. I think that's what's kind of messed up. So, those are just my thoughts. I am curious to see what you guys think in the comments down below. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you want. If not, that's totally fine. Oh, another thing, if you guys go to my channel, you'll see that I have a channel, like a featured channel, linked now on my YouTube. My friend Brandon and I thought it would be fun to start a podcast, so if you guys want to go check that out, please do so. We only have one episode up, but we are going to be filming, I think, at least once a week, so you'll have an hour-long episode every week if you just can't get enough of me. So, that is it for me today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.